Welcome to the Airgun Show. We've got the Hawke Sidewinder scope on test this week, but first up, we're back out hunting with Stuart Wilson.
Just nicely pulled off the main road onto the private track that leads us down to the farm. Like I say, it's witchy now, it's past midnight. It's a little bit foggy, which occasionally can make shooting a little bit difficult, but for trying to shoot rats in the farmyard shouldn't present too much of a problem, as long as it's not too cold. Temperature's about 10 degrees as well, so like I say, we've got some bait, we've got some liquidised cat food in a little piping bag, so we're going to dot some bait in various areas, and then we're going to get the Brocock Compatto out and have a sneak about the farmyard. And what we might do is have a gentle mooch. If we can get some of the rats onto the bait fairly quick, I may even pull out a little chair and get myself sort of comfy and warm with a nice thermal jacket on, Deerhunter jacket, and we'll sit tight and see if we can't bag a few if there's a few showing. So again, like I say, we've had a phone call from the farmer saying there's a bit of an issue with some of the rats, particularly in one of his sheds, which is probably the area that we're going to make a beeline for first, and we'll just see where we can get in for safe backstops and everything, and hopefully it'll be a nice area for us to get a little bit of a bait trail down. So we'll just get into position now. So I've just had a quick look in the main shed where the problem with the rats is at the moment, and it's kind of awkward position. There's livestock in the shed, so what we're going to have to do is get some bait into position, and what we've got is a bit of a tin of liquidised cat food, salmon flavour, nothing but the best for my rats. We're just going to snip the end off this, and we're going to blob a few little bits of bait up and down in a nice convenient spot for me, so that I've got a safe shooting backstop, and I can hopefully dab a few of these rats. There's quite a few in there. I just had a little walk in there and I've done them with a red light, and there's maybe sort of like a dozen or so kicking about, and they don't seem too bothered about me being there either, or with me having the light on. So what I'll do is I'll get a little bit of bait down, and then hopefully we'll get a few on film and be able to get into position and get a few kill shots. Got a little Brocock Compatto, little semi-bullpup 10-shot magazine. There's a bit of natural light in this fold yard, so rather than fumbling around in the dark and disturbing everything, what I'll do is I'll come out, load the magazine, pitch into the building as quiet as we can, see what's kicking about. When we've used a magazine that needs topping up, we'll come back outside where it's quiet. We've also got these bait spots down here just behind me. This light's on all the time during the night, so hopefully there'll be sort of something like used to it. After my initial thoughts, thinking that the lamp was not going to affect the rats too much, I've been proven wrong pretty quickly. Hopefully we should be able to find areas where the rats will get under cover and still present shots into the lamp. Well, we're nicely off the mark there. We've had one out of the little calf shed. Difficult shot underneath the water trough, but popped him nicely in the head. And then as we've come out to give it a little bit of a break and hopefully get him onto the bait a little bit more, I've come out around the corner and there's one being sticking out on the end of one of these other sheds, between the gutter again. Just managed to snag him as well, so he's just sort of in the drain there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them where they are for now and see if any other rats maybe come past and pick them up. But there's also a feed silo a little bit further up there as well that's got a little bit of a spill underneath it. We've had quite a good run so far. We had one rat come right down pretty much to our feet. Big horrible one-eyed rat, really big rat that's been in and out of all the feed buckets on the calves. Again, when they're feeding on the calf feed, it's really hard to offer any other means of controlling the rats by poison if there's regularly sort of buckets of feed here. So, you know, you really are kind of called upon to quite carefully remove these rats, you know, shooting amongst these young calves. It's a farm that I've shot for a number of years, and when there is an issue like this, you know, usually I get the telephone call, so I think we've got up to about half a dozen rats now. That big one-eyed rat that sort of popped up and squealed and jumped, he just made it to the middle corridor there and he still had a little bit of life in him, so I put a second pellet into him quickly. I didn't have time to get it on camera, just wanted to put it. We're just going to go and reload the magazine now, let it settle again, and then we'll come back in and we'll have a bit more of a look round the farmyard again as well. Well, that's time to get wrapped up and get myself back into bed. It's about 3:30, coming up nearly 4 o'clock, so I've had a good 3-4 hour session there. Interesting session, difficult in some respects. Rats can be a little bit jumpy when you put lights to them, but I still think we've had somewhere in the region of sort of 12 or 15 rats, which has been, you know, quite a useful evening. As we were driving here, it was really sort of foggy, and then as I was hitting the sort of higher ground, it was clearing a little bit. Temperature was good; it was about 10 degrees, and the sky's sort of really, you know, blown out and cleared up, and it's a full moon, which has put quite a bit of light into the farmyard anyway. Aside from the lights that we've had on the end of the buildings, the Brocock Compatto and the MTC combo. Paired up with the sports match mounts. Again, like I say, it's a faultless combination. Does what it says on the tin, and it's nice to use in the field. and we're fully steamed up now in the truck. It's been a sort of damp night, a bit muggy and everything, and now it's time for me to get myself home. I can hear the first birds doing the dawn chorus, which is a bit of an indication that I've been out here a little bit too long. But I've enjoyed it. I was tired tonight before I came out, but it's been a real energising night. I've really enjoyed it.
The Brocock Compatto producing the goods for Stuart once more there, and now it's the Airgun Show news.
This is the Airgun Show news, brought to you by Valiarm's Shooting Supplies. There's been a big Olympic boost for the shooting sports. Shooting will receive £7 million of UK sport funding in the next Olympic cycle. That's nearly double what it got in the run-up to Rio. This means shooting is considered a greater medal prospect than ever before. GB has won shooting medals in the last 2 Olympic Games, though none in the airgun events. Demand for shooting is still growing. The Basque Firearms Hotline has broken its own record once again. In November, it received more than 1,000 calls for the first time. As usual, delays in processing license applications and renewals are the biggest reason for calling, with service said to be very patchy across the country. So if you've got a renewal coming up for your FAC airgun, it's best to get it sorted right away. Beloved of airgunners, the Kelmarsh Country Show will be even bigger next year. It's joined forces with the Basque Gamekeepers Fair to produce a mega game fair taking place on the Easter weekend. Basque will bring all its usual gamekeeping attractions as part of the Basque Pavilion. And once again, the event will host the World HFT Championships, meaning airgunners just can't afford to miss it. And finally, more women than ever are getting active, and that includes shooting. A Sport England survey revealed that the number of active women in the UK has risen by 250,000, and Basque noted that shooting is part of that increase. Basque councillor Anne Mortimer noted that the greater the number of women members, the greater the availability of female talent and influence within the sport. That was the Airgun Show news.
The Hawke Sidewinder scope range has been around for a while now and has won a very loyal following among airgun shooters who want serious quality at realistic prices. This is the 30 SF model in 4.5 to 14 by 42 guys. Those specifications make it just about perfect for air rifle hunting. This model has an SRP of £399.99. Those Sidewinder prices start at $329.99. I'd describe this as a mid-sized scope. It's 369mm long and weighs just over 700 grams. It's a decent looking scope and feels to be extremely solidly constructed. It's waterproof and nitrogen purged to prevent the lenses from fogging up. It's also shockproof and more than robust enough to withstand the recoil of a spring-powered airgun. This model's zoom range makes it very versatile. Knock it down to 4.5 and you've got a wide field of view, fast target acquisition and good light gathering properties at dawn and dusk. Wind it up to the higher settings and you've got the precision to take long-range shots with confidence when shooting off a rest. The grooved zoom ring turns very smoothly but is still firm enough to stay securely in place on your chosen magnification setting. The Sidewinder's 30mm tube ensures good light transmission. Although not huge, the 42mm objective lens on this model also really draws in the light, and all lenses are multi-coated with no less than 18 layers to optimise performance. The result is a bright, sharp sight picture with great definition. The raised turrets offer 1/4 MOA adjustment for windage and elevation. Lift them up and they turn with positive clicks until you snap them back down to lock them in position. They're also resettable. Simply slacken the hex key when they're in the locked down position and you can reset the calibration to correspond with your set 0. The side parallax wheel focuses right down to just 10 metres, which is very useful for close range pest control. The dial turns smoothly and the kit even includes an oversized side wheel which makes for fast, easy adjustment and a clear reading. The Sidewinder range has several reticle options, including Hawke's SR Pro. This one is a 1/2 mil dot, which offers plenty of aiming points to compensate for the downrange effect of wind and gravity without looking too cluttered. It's a fully floating glass-etched reticle and is also compatible with Hawke's BRC software. The ocular focusing ring enables you to get that reticle pin sharp and can be locked into position once you've got it set to your eye. The reticle can also be illuminated for enhanced contrast when shooting at night or in poor light conditions. It's controlled by a very positive side dial which gives you a choice of 5 power settings in either red or green. Apart from the oversized side parallax wheel which I've already mentioned, the Sidewinder also comes with a spare battery for the illuminated reticle, a lens cloth and a 4-inch sunshade. You also get a really decent set of metal flip-up covers to protect the lenses from dust and grime. I think Hawke's Sidewinder scope is a seriously impressive package. It's not a cheap scope, but nor is it an outrageously expensive one, and its features and build quality make it very good value for money. It's tough enough to stand up to real field use, but also has the refinement to extract optimum accuracy from your air rifle. It also comes with the peace of mind of Hawke's 10-year warranty. That's all for this week, but we'll be back again in a fortnight. A very Merry Christmas from all at the Airgun Show, and remember, if you aren't already a member of the BASC, have a look at their website and check out the benefits you could be taking advantage of through Airgun membership.